I've been first and last, look at how the times go past. It's a lyric about growing older, written by Neil Young. It perfectly sums up the feeling us seniors have as we go closer and closer to graduation. We've been through a lot these past 4 years, some good and some bad. I personally have been through the worst times of my life and the best times of my life. High school was a roller coaster ride of the best memories I've ever experienced. There are things I will never forget, and I wouldn't trade anything for those memories. Today I would like to speak about the best 4 years of my life, and to remind everyone to never forget the things that have made them the person they are today. A few things I would like to talk about are the friendships I've made and lost, my worst and favorite memories, what I will miss, and what I will continue with next. I've made a lot of friends throughout high school. The first friends I ever met were Ashley Navarrete and Johnny Zavala. We would all sit in the corner of Mr. Zittarelli's room and goof off the entire class, especially during labs. Those were the best memories of my freshman year. Sophomore year, I didn't make many friends. The only friends I did make were a small group of friends that I still have today. They are probably my best friends. It wasn't an eventful year for me, though. I sat inside most of the time. I didn't go to any social gatherings. I didn't go to homecoming. It was a very boring time in my life, but junior year would redeem that for me. That was when I made most of my friends. Junior year, I met a large group of friends, which have been good and bad to me. They have taught me a lot about friendship. Some of them have been the best friends I could ask for. Others have been the worst friends I could ask for. They have taught me to spot out the fake people and to keep the real people in my life. My best friend throughout high school has been August Testa. He's been my best friend since, I would say, first grade, since he moved into my neighborhood. We have been very good friends. We always hang out all the time. And he has introduced me to some other good people, like Luis Vivero. He is one of my best friends, too. He's a very good person. He always drives us around to take us on adventures. And for Christmas this year, he hand-drew me a picture of me, him, and August. And it was probably one of the best gifts I've ever been given. I've made so many memories with these people during my high school years, and I will never forget them. All the memories start freshman year. The first thing I remember is walking into the cafeteria in the morning and sitting down at this table with all my friends. That would be our table for the next 3 years until we all start driving to school. Everyone would sit there. It was always fun. We would always laugh the entire morning, and I'll never forget anything that ever happened those days. The other memories I remember are freshman year. We're walking into Mr. Zittarelli's class, sitting down in the corner at the seat that would be mine for the entire year. That is where I met Johnny and Ashley, where we would spend all class goofing off, and it was just a great time. I remember me and Ashley would always make gestures to each other, and we would make Mr. Zittarelli very mad because we would not stop talking the entire class. We also would make playlists for the future because we planned on going on a road trip our senior year after we graduated. Sophomore year didn't have a lot of memories, as I mentioned before. I didn't really do much. I just stayed inside the entire year, but junior year was when I made most of my memories. I would go out and spend a lot of time with my one group of friends. We would always party and have a great time on the weekends. My other group of friends, I would take camping this year, and those were some great memories too. I did skip out on a lot of things. I never did any clubs. I only played lacrosse, which also had great memories, like on the bus. The bus rides were the best. Stopping at McDonald's afterwards was also really great because I would make money off of the change that people would spend there to get food. I remember freshman year during the lacrosse season, we had Coach Harvey, who was a completely different coach than who we had now, and he would make us wear sweatpants and sweatshirts the entire practice, no matter how hot it was, no matter what time of year it was, to train us, and it was the worst thing ever. It was so unbelievably hot. I hated it. We barely ever won games in lacrosse. The only teams we would ever beat were Sun Valley and occasionally Church Farm if we did play them. But even though we lost, I still did enjoy playing lacrosse. There were a couple fights I remember throughout high school. One of them was between two girls. It was a very brief fight at the cafeteria. No one really hit each other, but when Mr. Canada and Mr. Wendell came over to intervene, one of the girls punched Mr. Canada across the face, and it was very funny. My favorite class was gym because it was just a fun time. My favorite gym class, though, was AC because I enjoy working out, and the game days were always fun. I remember the one time during the class we were playing Capture the Med Ball, and it was full contact, And me being stupid, I didn't move, and I just sat there, and I got absolutely destroyed by Connor Bowman, and I cut my eye open. I had to leave school early and get 6 stitches. Senior year was probably my most active year. That was when I started to go all off for Spirit Week, and the senior run was probably the best part of the entire Spirit Week. The pep rally was wasn't that fun. I didn't really like it that much. The homecoming game was kind of bad. I was really upset when we lost the senior stick. That did not make me happy, or the Spirit stick. That did not make me happy. I got bored at the homecoming dance. It was kind of boring this year, but I did have redemption. I did go to 2 other homecomings. One of them was Elkton's, and the other one was Solanco's, where I met my girlfriend. And me and her have been dating for 6 months now, and she's probably the best person that I've ever had in my life. The week after school let out from the coronavirus, I went to Florida, and I spent a month down there with my family. We had a good time. My sister threw me a surprise party a few weeks after we got back for my birthday, and I had so many friends there, and it was just probably the best birthday I've ever had. I'm going to miss a lot of those memories and a lot of those people. I think I'm going to miss French class the most, though. It was the only class I had all 4 years of high school, and it was the class I was most comfortable in. I would always walk in the class every year knowing who was going to be in the class, and the people in the class were always really fun to hang out with. I'm going to miss lacrosse. I'm going to miss all my teammates. It's going to be very hard not having that for the rest of my life, and I really missed out on it this year, and I hated that. I remember some of the most embarrassing things that happened to me, though, throughout high school was when I crashed my mom's car after prom, and I'm pretty sure most people know about that, and everybody jokes about it with me, and it's really funny. I'm going to miss the dances, though. I did have a lot of great opportunities there to hang out with people and make new friends. I'd like to give a shout out to a couple people. I'd like to give a shout out to my parents for raising me to be the great young man I am today, and for helping me get through these years safely and taking care of me my entire life. I would like to give a shout out to Austin Moon. He's always been a great friend to me. We've been friends since 7th grade. He has always helped me throw parties and just entertain people, and he always makes me laugh. I'd like to give a shout out to August Testa because he's my best friend. He's always had my back, and I feel like he will always have my back for the rest of the year, or for the rest of my life. I'd like to give another shout out to Madden Sessa, Tyler Wynn, Nick Langribe, Huffa Widows, and Hayden Phillips for being the funniest people I've ever met. They've always kept me entertained throughout high school, and they have been really good friends to me. I'd also like to give a shout out to everyone else who has been staying strong during this coronavirus lockdown. I hope everyone stays safe throughout these times. What is next is a question all adults ask every senior. What's next for me is the Marines. In late October of 2019, I signed up to become part of the United States Marine Corps. I have 3 months left to go, and I'm very worried about it. I leave for the military September 14th and start my life. The military has always been the first choice of things I would want to do after school. I didn't really want to go to college. I've always wanted to be a soldier because I feel like that's where I belong. When I get into the Marines, I will go to college for aerospace engineering, and after that, I hope to go to officer school and become an officer of the United States Marine Corps. Another question many people ask kids are, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Me personally, I see myself with a family. I see myself with probably 1 to 2 kids, with my wife in a very small home on a military base, because that is all I probably will be able to afford in 5 years. But that is where I see myself. I would like to have a family. That is the type of person I am. I am a family man. I plan on graduating officer school in probably the next 5 years, maybe not, maybe 6 or 7. But I see myself being an officer by then. I believe my future is bright, and everyone's future can be bright. You just have to know your worth. And I hope everyone graduating 2020 knows their worth. It is one of the best and most important things for a young person to know. Moving on to the real world. High school was one of the most fun and long rides of my life. Although it was long, it still blew by. It was only a day ago when I walked into the cafeteria freshman year. Looking back on these 4 years, it felt like only 4 minutes. I've made so many good friends, so many memories. I've learned a lot from high school. There's nothing I would trade for those memories. There's so much I'm going to miss about high school when I move on in life, but I can't wait to see what's next. Oxford Area High School, you were the best part of my life and probably the best 4 years of my life and the reason I am the person today. So I would like to say thank you to all my teachers and my parents and everyone around me for keeping me strong and keeping me ready for what's next. So long, goodbye, and adieu.